let me ask you a question. Were you able to come over and come to the SWAC tournament? Were you able to be in the presence, go to the games?
Not this year, unfortunately.
I was going to say, how was it attended? Did anybody see it?
It was very well attended, to be quite honest, what I saw.
I want to talk about that because I think this is very important to go at. So first time in Atlanta, I went to every night other than the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Jackson State well represented, FAMU well represented, Alabama State well represented, Bethune-Cookman well represented, Southern well. It was, now here's the thing. Now we're talking about a 3,500 seat arena, but it doesn't matter. A great party is when people are enjoying themselves.
Yes.
And the thing, what you saw, because of the right sizing of the arena, the crowd bases were loud. I made a post and people saw this on my Twitter, and then this is a joke for my Jackson people. Them damn pom-poms were pom-pomming with Jackson State because they were able to come over. Jackson State has a large fan base in Atlanta. A lot of people were able to drive over from Jackson. Same thing with FAMU when we played Jackson State. The FAMU the Jackson State Alabama State was amazing. The Jackson State FAMU game was amazing. The Southern girls and Jackson State game was amazing. And I'm talking about the energy and I've been to several SWAC tournaments. This was the first time where it felt like, I tell you what, SWAC tournaments used to be below high school tournaments.
You left out Texas Southern, did they?
Y'all got up out of there, Coach.
We didn't get no help, Coach.
Y'all didn't show up. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say I was shocked, but it was a long way. Not being funny, it was a long way. But if you look at the conference, they had a lot of support. And what I think, and here's the thing, if Commissioner McClellan can figure out a couple of things, the delays in games and because they have this fan fest and allow people to go in and out from the fan fest when they have those delays in games, they've got something built. And I think they really can have something where they can get that thing to fill up to about 3,500 people, honestly.
Yeah, that's what we need, Coach. You got to start from there. So I'm going to take my hat off to the commissioner of starting in a small venue to get, like you say, man, the parties.
Let me ask you guys this: how many people attend the CIAA?
It's roughly the same. First Mariner Arena, since they moved it to Baltimore, they have a capacity, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody in the chat can correct me if they have to.
How many people show up? That's what I'm saying. How many people show up for the game?
Yeah, I heard
it's normally packed out.
Coach, I went to one a long time ago, and that mug had to be 6,000-7,000.
Yeah, they can get up to 7,000.
That's when it was in Charlotte. That was when it was in Charlotte.
So has anybody tried to make the SWAC an event like the CIAA makes their tournament event?
Well, hold on. Let me answer that because
I got you.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you because I think you're gonna go my direction. Only reason I'm saying because I was there. That's exactly the purpose of moving it to Atlanta, having the fan fest, having where you and again the tickets were not overly priced. I think one of the times you get in the game for $10 for some people that I heard and everything. So what you had was and what I did not know, which I found out from my AD, every school had to bring their band over the $35,000 fine. So again, when you're talking about the environment, you got the Boom and the 100 and the Jukebox and all the other bands and things like that. You really had a great basketball environment and you had people to come. So that's what Rocket, what they're trying to build. They tried to have after parties and things like that, day parties. And I'm talking things that were affiliated with the actual event. So that's the thing about it, which was really great. And for me, like I say, again, you saw people representing their schools. I met a lot of people that watch our show. Shout out to them. And the thing about it, so they're trying to build that. I think they're really saying, you know what, let's get a small sliver of the CIAA, use Atlanta as the backdrop and build from it. So Herb, I'll turn it over.
I like that. Go ahead, Herb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I want to, I think Coach just hit the nail on the head. That's one big reason why, the SWAC moved to that venue. The other comparison between the SWAC and the CIAA, first and foremost, the CIAA has a head start on the SWAC in terms of basketball tradition.
True.
So, when that's kind of apples to oranges to me because the CIAA has had the better part of 60, 70 years of being packed out and being a basketball product that people, gravitate to. We're talking about a conference that has national championships to its name, whether we're talking about Virginia Union during their run, where we're talking about Winston-Salem State, and a number of others of squads that have national championships in that conference. And we're also talking about a conference that is a permanent staple in, NCAA tournament play at the Division II level. So let's kind of put that to the side for a minute. Now, I think
their fan bases are the same. That's what I wasn't really talking about. The fan bases are the same customers. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the fan
no.
base
The MEAC and the CIAA is different, Coach.
Yeah, there's a difference. Even though the MEAC, from a basketball perspective, kind of, is the CIAA's little cousin. The basketball audiences and fan bases don't necessarily translate because traditions of those programs don't translate. So,
and they do a good job of playing each other too, Rocky.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's what we need to start at too, is that, particularly at the Division I level, we talk about the basketball product. That's where it starts at. There's no chicken or the egg here. Okay. You have a really good basketball product. That's how you market, and that's how you get people in the seats. So when you have a Southern University team, for example, like for a couple of seasons ago that had the run that they had, or had the run that they have this year, you have to market for it. When you have a tournament like we had this year, that was an awesome tournament by all looks of it, where fan support and fan engagement were at an all-time high, you have to market for it. Okay. And that doesn't just go for HBCUs. That goes for pretty much any postseason tournament that's looking to build a brand. That's just like the OVC tournament. You look at the OVC tournament this year, look like crickets until the semifinals and the final.
Right.
Most of those mid-major conferences are like that.
Yeah, and Tennessee State by far had the biggest fan base there, the HBCU in the conference. So when we talk about these types of things, it's very important that we remember that all of that starts with the basketball product on the floor. When you talk about a basketball product on the floor that's engaging the fans, that's entertaining the fans, and this doesn't just apply to the tournament. This applies to your overall basketball product that you see during the course of a year. So just like we talk about football in HBCU circles, we have these discussions all year round. When we talk about spring football, people are excited.
Because when you talk about the product, again, I know if Scotty was on here, Cole, this was the 80s. But from the time I've got in HBCU, gentlemen, we've always had the #1 scorer in the country. They had a guy named Murray from Southern. They had a guy named Machine Gun Kelly from Texas Southern. They had a guy named Hunter from Jackson State. They've always had the #1 top scorer in the country, averaging 30-some points a game. So we were getting that morale, that what we needed in basketball, but I just don't think that we took advantage of that. And like you and my man say, I didn't think we market that. When you got and when Southern made that run, they had the #1 rebounder because he was from Dayton, Ohio. Damn, what is his name? Herb. He played back there with Fields and that group. Damn, he's from Dayton, Ohio. Anyway,
I think his last name was Scales.
Scales. Yeah, he played it from Dayton, Ohio. Them dudes, man, and they were gonna get drafted. Them were drafted guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, just to add to that story too, man, Southern, you're talking about Billy Joe, you talk about Ben Job's most successful team. That's a team that went to the tournament in 1993.
Yes, sir.
It beat the brakes off of Georgia Tech.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Made a Sweet 16.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, those are the types of stories. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. That's what the tournament is about.
Right.
Right. That's just like a good example is, that's a non-HBCU example is Loyola Marymount. Who the hell knows anything about Loyola Marymount outside of, Bo Kimball and Hank Gaddis? Nobody.
But one thing about them, they win.
But you got to know about the school because of those two players and the coach and the style of play and the basketball product that was on the floor.
Right.
So you know, when we frame this conversation, particularly for HBCU basketball, because I think this is very important. You know, we have to frame it in terms of building the basketball product first, because that's where everything starts. That's where recruiting starts. That's where retention for hires, quality hires start. You know, your AD, athletic department or athletic director, has to have it in their mind that, one, I want to build a winning and competitive and winning basketball program. That and that should be the aim for every team in the conference, regardless of whether you're at the top or the bottom. And it's just like football. I mean, in that sense, it's just like football. You hire who you want to hire because of what you expect and what your standard is. Basketball, in that sense, is no different than football. If you expect to win, you're going to make hires to that effect. Whether that is a coach, like I look at Howard, for example. When Howard hired Kenny Blakeney, the first thing that Kenny Blakeney said, I'm coming home and I'm going to build a winning basketball program in the DC metro area, period. Not Howard, not because I went to Maryland or went to Duke or whenever. I want to build a winning basketball program at an HBCU.
Well, okay. you see what St. John's did when it got Patino back.
Yeah,
and look where they are.
Yeah, and I mean, and I look at the SWAC landscape as it pertains to coaches. Even though we've talked ad nauseum about, you know, the Florida A&M hire, a hell of a hire. You know, for the basketball product, that's the type of hire you need to make. You know, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, even though, you know, Coach Hughley had kind of a rough year this year, that dude can coach. He's got more international experience than most of the mid-major coaches that we know about. So
wow.
What we need to really start talking about when we talk about, you know, that revenue sport in the SWAC we call basketball is our individual team's dedication to building a winning basketball product. Jackson State had that on the women's side. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they had that for a long time.
How did my girl do over at Charlotte?
She had an upset in the tournament.
Yeah.
And then she went out the next round. She upset somebody in the tournament, then went out the next round.
I guess
she wasn't very talented this year.
She made her mark, though. She made her mark.
Yeah, and I think, you know, just before, you know, I know Rocky and I'm trying to close it out, so I'll be brief. I think, you know, I want to leave y'all with this. You know, the tournament, you know, particularly whether it's the first 4 or 16 seed, it's a showcase. It's an opportunity for you to see what your basketball program is, regardless of who the opponent is. Now, in this case, Norfolk State being a 16 seed against Florida, yeah, it's a messed up seed, but it's also an opportunity. Anybody that's seen Norfolk State play this year, they ain't no 16 seed.
And they're not going to be scared to play Florida either.
And that's what the tournament is all about. Not only is that all about in terms of their viewership, but it's all about for getting the word out there about your program.
And guess what? If they beat Florida State that first round, that second game gonna be packed. And don't let them win the second one. Then now they become Cinderella. They on every channel there is.
And just to kind of add to this before we close out, Norfolk has a track record of this. You know, they did this as a 14 seed.
They're a 28-point underdog.
Wow, we need to bet on that.
Yeah, I'll take the under on that.
And just so you guys know, Norfolk State on the girls' side is a 14.5-point underdog.
I'll definitely take the under on that.
Yeah, look. I need to put me about 100. I need to put me about 100 on that. They ain't gonna lose by 28.
Yeah, you need that action. Conrad, you just asked a question about the BCIC. Absolutely, the BCIC is going down.
Have they selected the team?
The division. There's not going to be a Division I division this year.
Okay.
It's all going to be Division II, and I think we did the brackets on the last show. That was, if I'm not mistaken, we got Claflin and Clark Atlanta in one matchup on the men's side. And we got Johnson C. Smith and, if I'm not mistaken, Morehouse on the other.
Now, I heard were the teams in the MEAC and SWAC sent invitation and they just turned them down? Is that what happened?
Yes. Okay. And I think, and to be quite honest with you, man, I think the fact that you have teams that are considering it but kind of holding out hope that they're going to get that bid to the NIT or the CIT or CBI or the new college crown, that new tournament, that says a lot. And I think at the end of the day, having an option like that for both Division I and Division II in the BCIC is big, because it gives an extra opportunity for kids to showcase their wares. HBCU Go is going to be televising the BCIC next week. So, it's going to give kids a platform to perform. And next year, for those squads that, don't get the opportunity to get through that conference tournament, but have a really good season, maybe they'll give us a little bit more consideration next year.
So just to clear this, no SWAC schools got a bid to the NIT.
Nope. No HBCUs in period.
On the girls or the boys side.
No, WNIT is different.
Yep.
Texas Southern got a bid to the WNIT, and
what about Alabama A&M? They didn't get a bid.
Alabama A&M's in there too.
Yeah.
What's the WIT?
That's the women's NIT.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But as far as the men's side, nobody
Isn't there a
else.
BCI tournament or something like that too?
That's what I was just talking about, the Black College Invitational.
No. I thought there was another.
Where's that going to be played at? The Black College Invitation.
That's going to be in Charlotte this weekend.
Okay, I got
you. And
men and women.
Yep.
Okay.
Men and women.
So what is that? They go the Black College National Basketball Tournament, pretty much.
It's labeled that, but I tend to label it as the NIT for Division II.
Yeah.
So,
it's just for Division II.
For this year. Now, the intent was to have two divisions, Division I and Division II. We sent bids out for all the Division I schools. But again, on the men's side in particular, I think those guys are kind of waiting out to see whether or not they're going to get NIT or CBI bids or CIT bids. And to be quite honest with you, just not to toot the product's own horn, but this situation is the only non-pay-for-play situation there is out there for us. You got to pay to play in the CIT. You got to pay to play in the CBI unless you're hosting. So, next season, we look to see it grow.
I got you. Well, thank you, Herb, man. You've been sensational, man, as always, and very informative.
Yeah, man, I'm in a good mood. I'm still recovering from that buzzer beater, bro.
Yeah, I see. So
you a little bit more reserved than your boy Nick E. Nick is around here tagging and posting and making videos and doing dances and everything.
Man, look, St. Francis social media that blocked a lot of us. I can see that now already. So, but I was able to extend congratulations to those guys, man. They like I said, they put up a hell of a game. They made a hell of a run in their own right. So,
hey, Herb, one thing though, but you did hear what the Rattlers did for y'all up there in Dayton, right? You heard about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That our alumni association, because y'all are SWAC brethren, we had to take care of y'all. See, and so don't never be sad that we don't get along. See,
and that's the way it should be.
Y'all going to Dayton, Herb?
Yep.
My family, they'll be at the game. My brother, they go to NCAA.
But they already played, Coach. They out.
Yeah, they
go to Lexington now, Coach.
We about to head to Lexington to play Auburn, man. So it's
y'all, damn, that was the playing game.
That was the playing game.
Oh,
so
okay.
we get ready. Yeah, so or I don't even like to call it playing game. I call it the first four as part of the tournament. So it's like, I mean, to me, a tournament win is a tournament win.
Man, I got to put $200 on this Norfolk, Florida. 28 points. Florida ain't beating him but 28.
Yeah, that ain't happening, bro. That ain't happening.
No.
I mean, I've seen both squads play this year. if anything, the advantage Florida has on the post at the 4 and the 5 spots, that's going to pose a problem. But guard wise, you forget it. That's a wash.
I got you. We appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, thank you for having me again, man. It's always a blast being on the show, man.
All right, nephew, appreciate you coming on, man. We're going to
all right, man. Thanks,
back to close this thing out for the closest basketball season out once everybody dips.
What's up, fellas?
All right.
Is it something that look, I've been hearing about. Well, go ahead. Do we have something else?
No. It's on you, Coach. You finna get there, and then we can wrap it up.
But Campbell, I thought maybe did you have something?
Yeah, well, it's two things. What I like, again, shout out to Coach Parker for coming on. Hey, Coach Buckley, however he hooked it up. Yeah, so I see some success there. Rocky, that nickname, that's trash. Just don't bring that up no more. Don't say that no more. Anything like that. We're not doing that. Okay.
Man, I tried.
But I will say, and it was one thing that we talked about, representing your school, and I think that when you see a guy, and a white guy, let's be honest, that is not familiar with the area, this is not where you come. You have white guys that say, "Hey, I grew up around here," and all that stuff. Hey, he's a Midwest guy. But he understood, hey, I'm coming on here to represent this school. And I like that. And then we got situations where we got other coaches that don't do that, which to me sends a bad message, even though they don't think it does, or, because you are the ambassador of that school. So anytime you have a chance, you should be wearing that gear. You ain't going to see Coach Cozy, Coach E-Rob, TC, you're not going to see them guys without the J, the F, and the A. You're not. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Point blank, period. Because they're going to represent their school. And when you got people that don't get that, it's just really disappointing. And I think what I really like about what those guys, because those guys got a heavy lift, coach, like you said, in Mississippi Valley. They got a heavy lift. And I think they understand that. But what I do like is that they are representing Mississippi Valley, which is super awesome. So, man, I'm super excited. Like I said, I appreciate you allowing us to have Coach Parker on there, because I think we learned a lot about, who and what he is and where Coach Buckley is going to take that program.
Coach Parker was dope. He was definitely dope.
I wanna commend Coach Buckley hiring such a qualified guy as him, and maybe not more so in the years, because he's only been coaching 10 years. But his attitude and his outlook, guys, and I'm telling you from experience, that I look for some good things, from him in that program. I do. He has the right attitude. He's saying the right things. He's taking the right approach to that type of program, man. And I'm telling y'all, Coach, when I put my finger on it, I'm telling you. And I look, I'm like you, Coach Campbell. They gonna do some things, Coach. They gonna do some things, and that's good for our conference. That's good for our conference.
Huge.
And I thought that was good. But I do want to piggyback, because I heard Scotty's channel on about Michael Vick and how he don't dress the part and how he don't represent Norfolk. This is what happens when you go out and you lay down for somebody and lay over the water and let them walk over your back, and then you expect them to turn around and help you up out of the water. And this is one of the things that I talk about, not necessarily celebrity coaches, but necessarily understanding what we have to offer as HBCUs. Stop being the, I don't want to use the 4-letter word, but, stop being useless, like we're nothing. We are the platform. You got to have the platform. You know what I mean? And then you help somebody raise up, instead of you thinking you need somebody to bring you up. We already up.
So, Coach, you feel that the administration, HBCUs, are begging these guys to be part of our ecosystem,
and
they shouldn't beg them, or they shouldn't ask them, or
No, I'm saying that it should be some in their contract where we're both shaking hands of saying, I'm doing something for you, but I'm expecting something from you as well. And what we're doing is throwing $500,000 at them or 5/8 of $1,000,000 to them, and they ain't even done nothing. Nothing. And they come with no experience. It's like we're not saying that we're valuable and we're going to give you opportunity as well as we're going to accept what you bring to the table too. Instead of it's a partnership, we're giving them a deal. And I think these guys are coming in and taking over those deals, and we're not getting anything. It's a bad deal. Let's look at Eddie George, for instance. Okay. Yes, he won the championship after 5 years. But in winning that championship, what did he do to the football program? At Tennessee State, coach, we played on the off season. A&T either every other year, South Carolina State, Southern University, Florida A&M every year, and Jackson State every year. Then we would play the conference. Not only did we give Eddie George $500,000 to coach, okay, what did we get out of the deal? We went down to playing Pine Bluff, no fans, Lane College, got beat, Mississippi Valley, no fans. All right. Then we go into the conference and it's a four-way championship, right? All right. Ticket sales didn't go up. Enrollment didn't go up. And the school is broke. And then he goes off and get what? A $600,000 and leave the program in shambles and leave the school in shambles. It was a no win there. So what I'm saying is, but then, we giving Deshaun Jackson his opportunity as well as Michael Vick. Then now we want to jump on Michael Vick. Well, I ain't for that. I always said that I wish Michael Vick well. But when schools put yourself out there and now he's not reciprocating, he don't wear no paraphernalia, he don't come dressed the way he should, he's not representing the school. So at the end of the day, what do we get out of it? And it seems like that he's really coming to reality of saying, damn, this is taking a lot of my time. You know what I'm saying? So I've heard the show, Scotty showed them the other day. I really didn't like what they say because at the end of the day, Michael Vick is an African-American man, and I don't want to shoot none of us down like that. But when you put yourself in that situation where you just a prostitute to this guy, then yeah. Because at the end of the day, Michael Vick has no skin to Norfolk, besides that he grew up in that area. He has no skin to HBCUs. He don't know the struggle. He ain't walked the walk. You know what I mean? And we're transitioning from this national statue to something that's local.
So, Coach, are you insinuating that there's a lack of appreciation for the opportunity that's been afforded?
Well, the writing's on the wall. But I don't want to chastise him for that. We set ourselves up for that. You know what I'm saying? We push no matter what they say, even though Deion Sanders was Deion Sanders, we gave him that platform. You know what I mean? At Jackson State. We gave him that opportunity to say, hey man, I can coach. I just need the opportunity. We've done that for Eddie George. Now he's gone. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this here, Coach, and I want to bring Campbell in on this one. The guy wasn't a coach before he was hired.
Yes,
he's a broadcaster.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, do we give him time to grow into the position, or do we scrutinize him 2 months into his assignment as a head coach and expect him to be a seasoned head coach and someone who does everything right in the public when
I agree with you totally.
When he hasn't been a head coach or a coach for that matter at no point in his career.
Yeah, I'm a loyalist, meaning I'm loyal to HBCUs. And now that we made those choices, then yes, we need to give him a chance. Stop complaining. If he don't wear a Norfolk hat or Norfolk fucking jacket, we asked for that, and now we got to lay with it.
Well, I'm gonna go the opposite route.
I know. That's why I brought this up.
Yeah. I'm gonna go the opposite route. Yeah, I expect that because just like, hey man, somebody probably hired over 300 people. I expect you to know what the job is from day one.
Okay.
So don't use me as a training wheel because you accept it. Because I'll tell you this. No, seriously. When you come in there to coach, it's Deshaun Jackson understood it. So somebody, whoever it was, or maybe he knew, said, you know what? I'm representing this school every day I step out. That's point blank, period. That's business 101. So while you can sit back and say, oh, let's give him a chance. Hey, man, we have paid you extra. Like Coach said, we're paying you extra. We're doing all these extra things that we don't do for anybody else. So I expect you to do extra. Because don't ask me to do a lot and you do give me a little. And don't say because I am little, you're not going to give me a lot. That's not how that works. So no, because you know why this is a big deal? Because the whole point of Scotty saying, and we'll use Scotty saying, celebrity coaches, use your celebrity.
But
That's
see,
the whole point.
But see,
because let's be clear, we're not hiring him because to your point, that he's a great coach.
No, we're not.
Coach Buckley actually coached.
So that's my
Coach Buckley. So wait a minute, because I got to finish this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Played in the pros, was well known, but guess what? He actually coached. So you could take his T-Buck and all that, you could get that out the way. He has a coaching resume. Okay?
Right.
So if you're going to bring and go and say, hey, you're bringing this because every time you wear a hat, a jacket, a shirt, you know what people say, man, where did you get that from? Where did you get that from?
Right.
I was all at the swag tournament. You know what people said to me from family? Hey, man, see where you get that jacket from? I heard people from Jackson say, hey, man, you got that cool ass jacket stack, man. People had bomb stuff on, and people want to know. That's how the school actually makes money.
I'll say this, and this is what has surprised me in the whole Mike Vick situation. I thought he was going to take, because he had a kinship to the area and it's near his hometown, I thought he was going to have a similar approach like Coach Prime in this regard. Coach Prime, when he first took over the Jackson State job, you didn't know he had any other clothes other than Jackson State clothes.
Period.
He had Jackson State pullovers. He had Jackson State hats. He had Jackson State polos. He even had a Jackson State blazer.
Bro, he made that J-hat famous. He made that J-hat famous.
And so, and my point is just saying this is that maybe that's what we comparing him to in this moment. And he's expecting it. He's just doing it a different way. Because you got to remember, on all of Coach Prime's interviews, he was wearing the J. He was doing, because he sat down with 60 Minutes. He sat down with a number of people in the process of taking that job. And he always represented Jackson State.
I can show you white coach. Show me a coach that does not wear their gear. I can show you all through this basketball tournament. You're going to see.
Everybody's not a hat guy though.
Stuff.
Like Nick Saban, he's not a hat guy, right? But he always has the Alabama shirt on.
Correct. So exactly.
May I sneak in here?
Yeah.
Deion Sanders wanted to be a college football coach. After listening to Deshaun Jackson, he started off as offense coordinator at the high school. It seems like he wanted to be a coach. It was like we chased Michael Vick down the same way we did Eddie George. And if you heard both of them talk, both of them say, I don't know. I've always said from day one, I never thought Michael Vick was a cerebral NFL player. What does that mean?
They cut his internet off, Coach. When he started, looked like his cameraman went out. Somebody may be calling him. What'd you think? You think somebody calling him?
Let me say something. I just got a text. and I'm not going to say who it is, but I think it's important. They said, I'm hearing a bit of resentfulness out of Coach Cole tonight, almost borderline jealousy. The day of the trophy coach is almost over. Time to simply let Mike Vick cook. That's not true. Michael Vick is a trophy coach. He's exactly that. He's not. You're not hiring him because he's a coach. So I don't get this. So and I guess the reason why people are pressing this, because the whole point of it is raising the profile of the school. It's just really, I mean, and that's what we want. We want Norfolk to have this profile, right? Because it's Michael Vick. You take pride in that.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know why the guy was saying I'm hating on Michael Vick. Hell, tonight I'm standing up for him.
You know what? I thought it was. Well, see, you know, the reason why I'm not gonna say who said it, because these my folks. You know what I'm saying? But it's because
well, let me talk to your folks. I'm saying now that we've hired Michael Vick, and he ain't doing what we want him to do, then now we people own him. I'm not owning him. I'm saying you're getting what you asked for. You asked to be Michael Vick to be your. No, he ain't gonna wear the hat. No, he ain't gonna wear a Norfolk jacket. So be quiet, let him work. Like I just told you, Rocky. Let's sit back and let's grow with Michael Vick the way he is. No, I'm saying Michael Vick is another black man like me.
Yeah,
and I'm loyal to HBCUs. And that's the choice that we said that this man is going to take one of our schools and do something great. But now what I'm hearing on some of these, man, he don't wear no hat. Man, he show up with jeans on. He don't come to, and he's showing no respect to our conference. So I want to make sure I clear the air. I'm saying, look, this is what you was asking for. I don't want to hear the excuses because he don't wear Norfolk gear. This is what we said. So let's go with him. Let's see what he's gonna do about it and stop freaking complaining. That's what I'm saying.
And I don't think, and Rocky, I want to be clear. I don't think anybody is like, well, let's fire him because of that. I think when anything, it's just a certain protocol is what people would like to see because it's Michael Vick. Listen, man, I came up in the night, Rocky, you did too. Man, there was nothing. When you saw Martin come in there wearing a Grambling thing or a FAMU thing, man, we were like, oh, man, look at Martin is wearing that. You know, he come out there, Def Comedy Jam, wearing that stuff. Man, it's just a pride thing. So people, I don't know why people act like this is something unusual.
But that's what I want to say on the flip side, guys. We went and begged this guy to come in and work for us. We open our legs up and say, get it. And then the next morning, he gone, out. And we went, are you coming back? No, he ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be back, or he'll wear a hat or a shirt or a jacket when he want to. In the meantime, shut the hell up. Because that's what we chose.
So Coach, the only thing I'll say about that, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Is this. In a situation when you're hired to do a job, there's a scope of work that you're given to do.
Yes, sir.
And if you want to maintain employment in said job, whatever it is, you have to do whatever is within that scope of that job. I just don't think it's clear to the fans and the public at large what the scope of his job was in addition to coaching. You understand what I'm saying? Because again, when he's not wearing the gear, he's not on the coaching field. He's not on what you would consider official Norfolk business. He's just out in the public doing his thing, doing podcast interviews or whatever. He may consider that his own personal time, right?
Right.
It's just our recommendation that while he is the coach at Norfolk, that he makes sure that the Michael Vick brand is aligned with his HBCU that's paying him. That's what you want. And what is it? What obligation does he have to do that? That should be within his whatever scope of work he was hired to do.
Well, Bishop, your guys is double punishing me. Yeah, I am against celebrity coaches. Nothing against them. But now that we don't hire one, he's a black man like I am. And if he don't want to wear his Norfolk hat and jerseys, which he should, and this is why I'm against celebrity coaches, especially guys that ain't walked the walk of HBCUs and don't know what it takes to be a head coach, was against it and still against it. But now that we're in this place, leave him alone. He'll put the goddamn hat on when he want a hat, and he'll represent Norfolk when he want to represent Norfolk, and leave him alone.
So let me ask you this here. Is this a conversation that's worthy of the AD having with Michael Vick?
Oh,
ain't no question. The AD, the president, the National Alumni Association, somebody need to grab him by the collar and say, look here, brother. Man, we giving you $400,000 now.
And what if he say I wasn't on official?
Bro, you listen. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, hey man,
he ain't no official. He is the head football coach of a major institution. He ain't no official business.
And he says, "Hey, hold up, guys! Don't forget, I'm Mike Vick."
No, wait, hold on. So I'm gonna answer that. So let me tell you something. I was real cool with Lorenz Tate. He used to come to Atlanta. We used to kick it, right? He'd throw parties with me, right? So I said, hey, Lorenz, I want you to do a party for me. He said, Steve, hold on, no. You got to pay me. I said, bro, we boys. He said, no. If you want me to walk outside, I'm got to be on. Michael Vick is always on, bro. He ain't never off, Rocky. He ain't never off.
No, he not.
He not. So I'm just telling you, that's what comes with the territory. It's just like, what did I tell Coach Parker? I said, he up in Ida Bina, bro. I said, hey, man, keep that hat in your car at all times. That's going to carry you well. And like I said, first of all, ain't nobody criticizing Michael Vick. But what we want, and again, Deshaun Jackson, because you are a representative of the brand. And I'm telling you, from a marketing standpoint, if you're marketing the brand, you should always, they say, always be selling, always be closing. Point blank, period. Because there's a lot of people, Rocky, that don't even know that he's the coach at Norfolk State.
I agree.
Okay, so if I go on TV and I got this Norfolk State hat on and I'm a kid, or my daddy see it, hey man, Mike Vick coach over there. Oh yeah, he's daddy coach over there.
Y'all wore me out. Y'all wore me out. Michael Vick, we gonna be on ESPN. We gonna be on every channel, and he gonna bring people to Norfolk State. The man don't even represent the school when he get an opportunity to. He is the head coach of a damn HBCU school, one of the best in the damn East Coast, man. He's got to understand and know his job. But when you hard, that's the same. You know what this remind me of Bishop and Rocky? This remind me of the boy that we hired at Bethune-Cookman. They don't understand a contract and a deal. See, what was my boy's name, man? I got to call it Ed Reed. Ed Reed thought he was on a deal. What's the deal? I'm bringing something to the table. You bringing something to the table. But I'm doing something for you, you doing for me, so I can say and do whatever. See, Ed Reed had got that mixed up. You know what I mean? He didn't understand you under a contract. So he was like, well, I'm Ed Reed. I'm going to bring this to y'all. And that's the way they made him feel. Because he started hollering during the time, well, man, I talked to Dion. With Dion, that was a whole different story. Now here come Michael Vick. It's the same way, man. When you open yourself up to that and make that person think that we need you and we can't do without you, and I'm not really interested in you, and I don't have no skin in the game, and I ain't from no HBCU. I'm used to being on Fox News. I'm used to going to a facility that's clean and people in place. Michael Vick ain't getting that. Maybe, just maybe, I don't know, that he's really feeling like, whew, this might not be for me. You see what I'm saying?
Right. There's a question. Somebody said, what would we say? I'm going to say, I just put this in the chat. Coach Cozy went to Florida State. He loves Florida State. And I have all respect for that. He loves Florida State. He talks to me. I tell you what, let Coach Cozy walk up there on that campus with a Florida State hat on and see what happened.
He ain't going to do it, though.
He's a
football coach.
He ain't going to do it.
Because he understands that he's
admit. So don't tell him. So no. So that's what I'm saying. And Coach Cozy is right across the street from Florida State. And he has every right to love Florida State. Florida State made him in the man he is. But when you come across that track, you are a rattler, bro. And he knows it. And he got more rattling. Like he said, he got stuff I ain't never seen. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So
That's
that's what
right.
I'm saying. So
That's
understand
right.
the same point is that Michael Vick, he went to Virginia Tech. I get it. Michael Vick don't even went on Virginia Tech stuff over there at Norfolk State.
If he do, somebody should pull it off of him.
Yeah. So bro. So like I said again,
What about the hat that says Vic on it?
Man, look, throw that shit away, man. We paying this man $400,000. He got gear. We need what? Look,
What
we
about the
didn't
hat that
hire
say?
him to
What
do.
about the hat that say Fox Sports?
Hey, man, damn that, coach.
is he working for Fox Sports?
Rocky. We hired this man to be the head coach, but at the end of the day, guys, he's an African American man, which is a black man that we want to see successful. So myself is take what you get. We riding with Michael Vick, Johnny Cole. I'm riding with Michael Vick, and I hope he win because when he
Man,
win,
yeah.
HBCU win, and we all win.
That's a
But,
big deal.
but exactly. But
we want.
I'm
I want Michael Vick. Listen, man. I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna say this again. When you get guys like Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson, you want them to be successful because when you got Michael Vick, Norfolk State playing South Carolina State, that's going to be a big game. I want that to be a big game.
Right.
When Southern Jackson State play, that's a big game. When FAMU Jackson State play, that's a big game. Now T-Buck is up there. I want Valley to be a game where Jackson State like, oh, okay, we at least got to take these guys serious. Alcorn, we got to take these guys serious. That helps the conference out.
Right. Let me show our fans understand who Johnny Cole is. I got a choice to make, like everybody else, to either say celebrity coaches are good or not. I don't think they are, and I'm gonna stay with that. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm an HBCU guy. So now that we've made those choices, when they win, we win. You know what I mean?
What about when they lose?
And when they lose, I lose, and then I'm gonna be saying, "I told you so." Shit, hell, look, I know what I'm doing in this game, and all Michael Vick is doing is either somebody at that school is going to have to grab him and say, "Hey, buddy, we brought you in here to represent Norfolk State, not yourself, not Fox." You know what I'm saying? We brought you in because of what you've done on the NFL playing field.
This is what I hope, guys, and I mentioned this is in our chat. Hopefully, Nike is in position putting a branding deal together with him in Norfolk, and he has specific attire that's like Prime attire that Prime has for Colorado. Hopefully, there's some Vic attire that he's waiting on to get printed and published and finalized with him in Norfolk. And before he goes all out, he's waiting for his stuff to get ready. I hope that's what it is. I hope he's not willful. I hope he's not going on podcast wearing a white tee because he thinks that's what he should be doing. Hopefully he's holding off.
Wait, I don't know what
how does he have to hold on when he can just go to the bookstore and get
but he wants to wear. He wants y'all to buy the Mike Vick branded stuff because he gets money for that.
No, coach, no.
I tell you what, you know what's so crazy about that? He could put in that contract if he wanted to say, hey, if I increase merchandise sales by X amount, he can put that in the contract right now.
Coach. When my brother then went to Clark University, Division II program, when they got there, they had free range to the bookstore. Each coach had about $300, $400 to get whatever you want. Me and my brother got all kind of Clark shit. So I'm pretty sure at Norfolk State.
No, that's not what I'm saying. So, Coach, I'm saying that I hope that Mike Vick is waiting on his own branded merchandise.
I understood that, but in the meantime, you know, he should wear Norfolk stud. But we can't holler Michael Vick ain't SHIT or he doing. We gotta ride and die because we put ourselves out there to be prostituted by these guys.
I understand he has access to all the Norfolk gear. The equipment man works for him. Of course, goddamn well, I know he got access to the stuff. I'm just saying there has to be a plausible reason while he's went on 3 podcasts.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
No. I'm no. I'm not gonna let you do that tonight. I got time tonight. You can hang this thing up. No, because let me tell you something. You are what you do. I'm gonna use the Deshaun Jackson suit, Delaware State colors, hat, jacket. Michael Vick came like he was coming from the barbershop at his joint. So he started this trend at his very first press conference. Okay? He wore some dad jeans, some Air Force Ones, a shirt, and then he had the Norfolk jacket on. Bro, he started that day one.
But Campbell,
so you can't erase that.
Campbell, so what is it gonna be? Y'all killed me when I was like, no, man, this ain't the right, this ain't right. But now he's there, and you know, he's not panning out as far as off the field and this media thing. And you know, I don't want people on these other shows. Let me say this. I've listened to these other shows, Campbell, and he's a hillbilly and he's this and this and his BS and all that. You know, they just tearing down another African American man, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't think it should get personal like that, because when you make a deal, you got to live with it, and this is the deal that Norfolk got to live with. You know, so don't. You know, I don't want to tear the man down.
Hey, Rocky, I'm gonna use this. Okay, let's flip it. My nephew, my son, your boy, our boy. We're gonna be on this. If Vic would have came out with a fly, just whatever, wearing Norfolk stuff, Scotty would have been in that chair. I got my Norfolk stuff on. I got my Norfolk stuff on. And they're doing dances and singing and doing all this. That's the exact point. Why you do that? I gotta order that. I gotta get that. You don't think there's a bunch of other Scotties like that?
Yeah.
So you know, so what we're saying again, his inexperience of being a CEO of a major institution, don't understand that when he steps out in the public, that he is representing Norfolk State. That's what we're saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just simply saying this, guys. I can't fathom that he's that willfully ignorant for no apparent reason. Like, that's all I'm saying.
Well,
he may be.
I don't even call it ignorant. I just think that he's just, man. See, this is what I hate. Okay, so this is what happens. If Michael Vick saw this, right, this would be taken out of context.
Yeah,
because nobody. I'm happy. He is a perfect fit for Norfolk. Okay, I'm gonna do the Stephen A. He's a perfect fit. He's a great husband. He's a great football player. I think he's gonna do great at Norfolk. I think he might win a man. Okay, we get all that. I want to say that for the record. So ain't nobody hate. But what I expect is the best out of all of us. You know what I mean? Because I know what representation means. I know what branding means. And all I'm saying is when you come out and you Michael Vick and you got the hat, the shirt, and all that, people are going to go get that. They're going to go get it. No different than that J hat was sitting on that. When that J hat was sitting on them recruits, man, people all of a sudden, people getting them J hats left and right. They have 80 different colors of them J hats now.
Hey, one of our fans say, well, maybe they broke in his house and stole all his Norfolk gear.
Well, man, listen. Listen. Well, I tell you what, he better call the police. I tell you what, they got there. You know how let me tell you something. You see, this is a true story. One of our boys had got his house broken into, coach. And homeless people had broke into it. We was at school, right? We go down the street, all the homeless people, and walking down the street with all he said, man, that's my shirt on.
Well, man, let me say this, guys. Y'all two know, man. We definitely ain't gonna be down in no black man on our show, man.
Not at all.
And,
No.
You know, it's all with love and but damn, somebody need to pull Vic together, man, and be like, hey, buddy, you know, you the head football coach.
Yeah, him and Johnny Manziel had one heck of an interview. It's gotten millions of views, and it would have been nice for him to
have some Norfolk gear.
In the interview, did he mention that he was coaching Norfolk State? Because I've seen interviews.
I haven't seen any clips of it. No.
Okay.
Hey.
Listen, that's another thing. I have seen interviews where it even if they ain't the topic, it's gonna be the topic if I'm there.
Well, let me tell the audience that that's what happens when you sell your soul without a good contract. You know what I mean? You know, they went about, you know, this guy's being this, that, and the other, man, and maybe they forgot in his contract that he has his moral contract that he has to be able to represent the university. when he's out. I don't know. Maybe they need to tell him that. I don't know. But I know this, if he had some skin in the game, if he was an HBCU guy, if he was a career coach, all the things that I talk about of being a CEO of a football program, if he'd have had some experience in that, he would know we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Hey, Coach, I don't have nothing else. You know what time it is. I'm going to step away and y'all close it out, man.
I got you, Coach. I appreciate it. I want to end it like that.
Well, Coach, I'm just going to say, hey, shout out to Coach Buckley again for getting Coach Parker on. Shout out to you, Coach Cole, for allowing this to have avenue. And shout out to the people in the chat, man. You know what I mean? Y'all come rock with us on every Tuesday. Good, bad, and different. Don't like us, do like us, but at least you here. Now, I appreciate that, man, because most of you all are HBCU alums. I got a lot of respect for your schools. Saw a lot. And, man, and shout out to everybody that came to the SWAC tournament because you represent, y'all represented your schools, man. It was a great environment. Everybody was friendly. Everybody got down. You know what I mean? Some people won, some people lost, but it was a great environment. So, man, I just want us to keep building that. And, man, just remember this thing, man. We under siege. We under siege. I know a lot of you all seen that the president has rescinded the order from President Johnson where technically they can bring back colored water fountains and bathrooms and things like that. So, man, it's up for us HBCU folks to stand up, Coach. It's time for we can't hide no more. People said we had to sit out, but we cannot allow, because we're the ones that have the knowledge and the education to stand up to these type of people. So, man, I want everybody to understand that, man. And like I say, love all of you all. And Coach, once again, thank you for allowing me to be on.
Yeah. Without a doubt, man. Look, we ended another sensational show, 3 hours long, man. For the people who stayed with us, man, I take my hat off to you. Y'all could tell that we talk from our heart and not from the foot on our ground. We talk from here and up here. We try to give you guys all the information. Continue to subscribe to our show. Continue to spread our show. I get a lot of calls from people that don't even know our show yet. But, at the end of the day, we're about uplifting. I'm about uplifting African-American coaches and African-American culture, especially HBCUs. And sometimes, I'm always ain't on the right side, or the left side. But, I speak from my heart, and I want to thank you. And I'm for every African-American person that's trying to do something and trying to fit in. So I thank you. I know this world is getting tight. Stuff is uncontrollable. But one thing about it, like I tell my son, he's 23 years old. He's Johnnie Jr. And, he's a 22-year-old searching and finding. And I told him at the end of the day, son, whatever happened to you, you got a place to come. You got a place to come home. And so I tell you guys that if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, always tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.
My name is Campbell Jr., and I won $500 on the lunch money for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.